You're listening to Tavern Sports Radio Network.
Show me the money! Show me the money!
Show me the money. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 63rd episode of the Show Me the Money podcast. How are we doing, everybody?
It's good to see you boys again.
Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I sat home alone, so nothing too exciting on my end of things. But
Ethan touched himself.
Yeah, that was about the extent of how Thanksgiving went. So I've been working every day because I do work retail as well. So Black Friday has been busy for me. But if you shop at Dick's, fuck you. Clark, welcome back, bud. I know that you won a lock last week. Is that right?
No, I did not.
You did.
You can
not.
thank your Iowa Hawkeyes for ruining that for me.
Shocker. Well, let's start it off with those quick lock of the week standings. Let's take a quick look. Parker leading the pack at 9-5. Man, that guy hasn't shown up to a podcast in a couple of weeks now, and he still keeps.
Fire him.
Yeah, he still just keeps winning. Clark, you are listed at 8-6. Is that accurate?
Yep, that's accurate.
I am just barely over 500, 7-6-1. John 7-7. Cole 7-7. Josh 6-8, just barely trailing those guys. And then Tyler, you got another win, bud. Congratulations.
I'm on my bullshit again. Don't let the kid get hot.
On your bullshit is right, because you're still 4-10, dickhead. So
profitable.
Let's take a
no, not even close.
They were all plus 800 underdogs.
That's just not how that works. Anyway, let's go into our little NCAA football talk. We got college championship football games this weekend. Is that right, fellas?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Championship weekend.
Well, let's start it off with the team that holds one of the Heisman hopefuls this year. You got Boise State is the home team against UNLV, who I couldn't even tell you who their quarterback is because they've had such a strange season.
UNLV's quarterback starting at the season, he opted out, remember? Because he didn't get his
he played like
NIL.
3
NIL.
games. Yeah, he played like 2-3 games.
I do remember that.
Something about this game, these teams did play in October. Boise State won, correct, 29-24.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Genty had a bad game in this one.
Genty did have a bad game.
I don't know if I would say bad. It was very clear that UNLV's entire game plan was to shut him down.
Correct.
Yeah. However, I think Boise State has progressed through the season facing enough teams that have 8-9 guys in the box. Boise State's quarterback's decent. Like, he can win them this game if they take Genty away, and that's fine. Something I think could be looked at here, boys, and if somebody can pull a book up and tell me the odds, UNLV wins this game with Tulane losing to Memphis last week. They win the conference, and there's a chance UNLV gets in. What are the odds on that on the sports book for UNLV to make the playoffs? Does anybody have that?
1 second.
You gotta make
Something to think
way
about, because
too
they're
this.
higher ranked than Army is. So they're the next highest ranked conference champion would be UNLV if they win this game.
So nothing for UNLV. The only two you can bet to make the playoffs is Alabama and SMU, because the games or the books see that the SMU game, like, help me out here. I'm struggling.
As a play-in game?
Not like as a play-out game. Like if SMU loses, Bama might fall out. Is kind of how the books have it.
So,
whereas I think it's a foregone conclusion. UNLV is in with a win, which is kind of reflected in their national championship odds to win the whole thing, because it looks like there's
plus 25,000 on the Green Book for
Yeah.
UNLV to win the national championship.
Yeah, it looks like there's like 14 teams here because there's still some stuff up in the air with this weekend.
It'd be interesting to see the Rebels make it into the fucking playoffs, man. But
That would
I
be
think-
wild.
I think Boise State with Genty has a better chance of upsetting somebody if they were to get in than UNLV would. UNLV would immediately drop to the number 12 seed, and the Big 12 champion would jump to a top 4 seed. Undoubtedly. Undoubtedly. So,
Important to mention, this is a true home game for Boise State, which means you are in Boise, Idaho, the second weekend of December in an outdoor stadium.
On the blue turf.
the Smurf turf's going to be hopefully fucking covered in snow. But yeah, it should be known, UNLV, they play in
a
Allegiant
desert?
Stadium. No, they play in Allegiant Stadium
Which is in a desert.
It's a dome. So they're not
They are
used to the
calling
weather.
for kickoff 30 degrees.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
And that's
Hell
with,
yeah.
Love that.
and that's as the sun is going down.
Hell yeah.
This is a Friday nighter. So
Oh, is it?
yeah,
Mhm.
they're talking like by the time the fourth quarter starts, 25, 26 degrees, a little bit of wind.
You know how
Ugh.
hard it is to take a hit from Genty? Do it in 30-degree weather. You ain't going to want to come back and hit that fucker again.
No.
Bruiser game right here. Legacy game. Go hurt somebody.
I agree, Ty. I'm with you. Give me Ashton Genty and those guys on the blue turf to just run through UNLV. I know that they didn't do it last time, but in that cold weather, this UNLV team don't have a way to prepare.
Well, they did cover this number. I don't know if we gave out the line. The line's 3.5. They
Mhm.
won by 5 last time
Yeah.
in enemy territory in a dome when it was not 30 degrees out.
Yeah, I like I like Boise State here to cover it. Obviously, I'm not going to fuck around with the hook. I'll take 3 solid. Actually, it's a spoiler from one of our later games we're going to talk about, but I have Boise State in a money line parlay tomorrow night.
Okay.
I'm trying to see alternate spread right there. Boise State minus 2.5, minus 166. Can't even lock it.
Yeah. The books know that hook is a heavy one.
That's a heavy hook. It is.
So we're all squad riding with Genty and no?
I'm
Clark?
taking UNLV
Oh,
plus the 3.5.
You sick fuck.
You just want the fucking CFP to burn, don't you?
Yes.
So
All right.
I'm seeing now I did put these out of order because technically the first game to kick off is Western Kentucky at Jacksonville State. Jacksonville State, 4.5 point favorites. Again, it's a true home game for these group of 5 schools. These two teams played last week, guys. In the final week of the regular season, Western Kentucky won 19-17, but Jacksonville State was already locked, and Western Kentucky had to win to get in.
I believe Western Kentucky's quarterback got a little dinged up in that game. So something of note potentially there. Obviously, he's going to play, but I think he's not fully 100%. I don't know. Maybe Rich Rod and the boys were just kind of holding things back, knowing that because I don't know the strategy. Did they play a tight game and try to keep WKU out? Did they hold their cards close to their chest and say, if we play WKU, we have some more shit to unload on them? Because if you're WKU, you're firing all your bullets in that game to make sure you get into that game. Whereas Rich Rod and the guys who already know they're going and already know they have a home game, they could hold some things back a little bit and give them a different-ish look this week while kind of knowing what's on the plate to expect. I'm going to take Jacksonville State as the other leg in that money line parlay. I don't want to fuck with 4.5 points, but I like Boise and Jacksonville State. 2 home teams. It is a little bit of a wrinkle, them having just played Western Kentucky. But those lines each kind of scare me with the hooks. It is worth mentioning Boise State UNLV on the green book is now up to 4.5 line.
It's on 4.5 on the yellow book as well.
So
and the blue book's fixing to go to it because they're at -122 right now.
Yeah. So the juice is coming in on Boise State. If you take Jacksonville State and Boise State money line right now, it's +131. Both of those teams are sitting at -192 on the money line.
I can get you. Yeah, never mind.
Not shabby.
Evens out.
I think I might pull my phone out real quick.
Also, worth mentioning, Jacksonville State probably wanted to lose last week because the other team that they would have caught would have been Sam Houston. Sam Houston just a sneaky good squad this year, finishing 9-3. I don't think preseason anyone would have taken them. They actually had the best record in Conference USA. They just didn't do it in conference. They took 2 in-conference losses, which you just can't do in these group of 5 conferences. So
look out for the fucking Bearcats, man. I'm just saying,
I think
that's
Rich
a 1-star program on NCAA 25, the video game.
Dude,
a lot of teams made a dynasty out of the Bearcats.
I think Rich Rod definitely made the right decision letting Western Kentucky get into this game, and I think his boys will take care of it. I'll take the points. I'd love to be able to buy 1 or 2. I doubt I can buy 2. I can probably buy 1. No, I can get it. No, I can't. I can buy it down to 3.5 to 130. So I'd probably do that.
Okay. Give me Western
because then you survive like a touchdown and then the other team getting a field goal.
Clark's liking the dogs.
Yeah,
Josh.
dude, give me the double dip. Western Kentucky to do it twice.
What does that come to for you? If you take UNLV, Western Kentucky money line, 563.
You're sick. You need help.
Fair enough.
Give me the dogs.
There's a chance dogs bark. So
they barked a good amount this year.
The 3 of us are on Boise and Jack State, and Clark is the lone wolf on the other 2 teams. And I think Clark and I are going to be on the opposite side one more time because this 3rd Friday night game, you're going to fucking give me Army at home +5.5. Because here's the thing. True home game for Army. Tulane, like I said earlier, lost last week to Memphis, which keeps them out of the 12-team playoff regardless if they win or lose this game. However, something of note for the Army side bettors, Tulane has faced Navy this year, a triple option team, and I believe shut them out completely, didn't let them score. But you just got your season derailed completely by Memphis. And now you're facing the triple option in the cold weather of the Northeast.
26 degrees at kickoff, 10-mile-an-hour wind.
Yeah.
And that's on, correct me if I'm wrong, that's on a waterfront.
I don't know exactly where that stadium is. I know it's in Maryland.
I'm pretty sure it's very close to the ocean. Yes.
Yeah. West Point, it's cold. It's
you can see water in the background.
So Tulane likes to air it out. Army keeps that shit on the ground. I'm taking Army in the points here. This is my first dog of the weekend, but I knew Clark and I were going to be on different sides.
Yeah, I like Tulane here. They lost to a Memphis team, which keep in mind is 10-2, a good squad. Memphis was one of the teams beginning of the year that could have snuck into the playoffs if they wanted to. But no, I like this Tulane squad against Army here. I don't think Army's got a chance.
So you think the boys battle back after having they're knowing they have to go up into they have to take a cross-country road trip from New Orleans to Maryland to play in the freezing fucking cold and shut down the triple option all night. And you think they're like, dude, yeah, we're doing this so we can go get in the Idaho Potato Bowl? Like, what is Tulane playing for is my reasoning.
Dude, Tulane's covered the spread in 5 of their 5 last away games.
And you'll love the fact that that's down to 4.5 now.
Means there's some people putting some money
I like
on
Tulane.
Army.
I like Tulane, baby. Fade the public.
I'm checking the green book right now. It actually says 54% of the spread bets are on Tulane, 46% on Army.
Fade the public.
Yeah, money line 67% on Tulane, 33 on Army, and then the over betting at 70% right now. Over of 45.5.
That would make sense. I could see that because Army, though they're a triple option team, they've put up points this year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know
So
what?
Clark and I are on the opposite side of all 3 Friday night games. We will not be talking tomorrow, Clark.
Do y'all know what head coach Rick Weiss always said?
What's that?
Go every time so others may every time. Support our troops should be in there somewhere. And we're going to support our troops. Army.
Jeez.
D3's football finest. Thank you, Coach Rick Weiss. Ethan, where are you at here?
Oh man, this is a weird one. I don't know. It felt like every time I thought about betting on Tulane, I was glad I didn't because it didn't go the way I wanted it to. And the same can be said every time I bet one of the service schools. So I am not going to put my money on this game. However, if I want to see one of the teams cover, I think I got to go with Army to cover.
He just wants a close ball game, gritty.
That's fair.
I think Army, if they somehow found, I guess it's probably not possible to make it in the playoffs, but
No,
they're not even ranked. They're 24th. They are 24th.
But they're
not getting in.
They're lower rated than UNLV is.
Yeah.
So if UNLV and Boise State have a Marshall plane accident, you would say,
hear me out. Boise State, UNLV combined for 10 turnovers. It's a 9-3 game. It's awful. Army comes out, forces 8 turnovers, shit pumps Tulane 52-0. Say no. Who says no?
The committee does. They're gonna be like, oh, let's just put Bama in.
Yeah, facts. They would take the highest rated Power 5 and kick them the fuck out, all of them.
Yeah.
But also going against Army in this scenario is the fact that they've played Notre Dame, a playoff team, and got shit pumped. So not looking well for them. But UNLV Boise State is the all-time eliminator for Army. So let's move into some Saturday morning Maction, Josh.
I fucking love Maction, baby.
So we got Ohio Bobcats playing at Miami of Ohio. Miami of Ohio, last year's MAC champion. They have not had a back-to-back MAC champion in years. Years. The Maction's crazy. So 1.5 point line. I'm taking the Ohio Bobcats money line.
Yeah, so here's the deal. These two teams played October 19th, same week as UNLV Boise, and we'll get to it here in a little bit, same weekend as Texas, Georgia. So 3 rematches from that week this weekend. Miami won 30-20, but since then, them Bobcats just been yodeling, going up. So I'm with you, Ty. Give me the Bobcats plus 1.5. I'm getting a point. We love that.
Give me Miami, Ohio. I'm taking them. I think that's the way to go. I can see Clark nodding his head. He's joining me.
I like that pick.
I think they are still by far and away the best MAC team this year. I think that this game, number one, is going to be a lot of fun playing in an NFL stadium. Good for those guys because there's probably
I didn't know the MAC did that kind of shit. Good for the MAC.
Yeah, there's probably not a whole lot of times that many of those guys will see an NFL field, to be honest. So good for them. I do really, really enjoy watching Miami, Ohio when they play other MAC teams. They're one of those teams that will get their shit pumped in against a Power 5 school, but they're also not afraid to face those Power 5 schools. So, yeah, give me Miami.
Miami 9-3 overall this year. Miami of Ohio 8-4.
You mean Ohio's 8-3
or
or 9-3?
Ohio 9-3.
That's what he said.
Miami of Ohio.
No, he said Miami.
Oh.
Ohio's 9-3. Miami of Ohio's 8-4. Ohio is 8-4 ATS. Miami of Ohio 6-6. ATS, both these teams obviously much better at home. That's kind of what Maction is. That's kind of what Maction does. You win at home. You win your home games. So yeah, I don't know. This one's gonna be fun though. I don't know. I'm ready for a fun one. Hopefully this actually lives up to the promise. There's probably going to be some wacky ass shit that takes place because it is the action, but I'm here for it.
Beautiful.
So before we go into the Power Four, do we want to talk the playoff seeding and playoff scenarios?
Sure.
A little bit. So, I mean, not much has really changed. Top 10. We'll go top 9. Top 9, Oregon, Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame, Georgia, Ohio State, Tennessee, SMU, and Indiana. I hesitate at SMU because that's, I think, the one thing in the top 9 that can change.
Yeah.
And then after that, you have Boise State at 10, Alabama at 11, which has a lot of people upset, and Miami at 12. But that doesn't really matter because a conference champion is going to take that spot. So Miami is effectively out.
Yes, because both Iowa State and Arizona State are technically seeded outside. That is a playoff game. It's a championship game. It is a playoff game. It is a play-in game. There's really only a few scenarios that...
I think there's one. Exactly one.
Yeah, and it's Clemson beating SMU.
And SMU has to keep it close, I think.
Yeah, and SMU. But again, we were talking about this before we went live today. Do you, as the playoff committee, punish SMU for making it to the ACC championship game, your first year in the ACC, and losing? They would still have less losses than Alabama with one more game played.
There's plenty of teams that have less losses than Alabama.
But not with an extra game played. And Alabama's losses, besides Tennessee, who is a playoff team, are not good losses. A 6-6 Oklahoma team and a 6-6 Vandy team.
Correct.
So your losses compared to SMU's, who would be Clemson, and I believe they lost to Louisville.
No, they beat Louisville. That's what I'm looking for. They lost to BYU week 3.
Okay.
So good BYU.
You lost to a team that was in the playoffs for 85% of the playoff formats until BYU lost to Kansas.
And is still ranked in the top 25.
Yeah. So all of your losses are good losses if they lose to Clemson, because you're then losing to a playoff team. Bama losing to 2 non-playoff teams and 1 playoff team. I think it would set a bad precedent if SMU loses this game and gets kicked out and gets punished for playing in their game. Because what stops SMU from right now forfeiting and saying, kick us out over Bama? You know what I mean?
No, I hear. I mean, like you said, this is basically verbatim what we said in the pre-show.
Correct.
And if you're a Bama hater or you just don't like the clear favoritism that's being showed here, you're a pretty big Clemson fan this weekend. And hand up, that's me.
I want SMU to win this game. My money will be on SMU in that game when we discuss it. I want Clemson to win so Alabama gets punished for their losses.
Because I don't understand the criteria that the committee's using to put Bama in. Because it's not who's hot right now. Because if it was who's hot right now, it would be South Carolina.
Bama has the head-to-head over South Carolina.
I know. I was going to get to that. Right now, today, South Carolina may be, because of how hot they are, the best team in the country. Because of how hot they have been over the last 6 weeks. But, Tyler, like you said, they have the head-to-head. Alabama has the head-to-head. And Ole Miss, who's another team in this pot, also has a head-to-head over South Carolina. So I think that's why South Carolina's kind of out of it. Miami took a couple bad losses. That's probably why they're...
The complete opposite. Miami's losses, less than Alabama, one less loss than Alabama. So I'll take your Alabama chirp of, well, we lost to Tennessee, a playoff team. Okay, cool. Kick them out. Kick that loss out. Let's look at the other 2 losses. You lost to Oklahoma and only put up 3 points on a mediocre Oklahoma squad. On the road,
I would even go lower than mediocre.
On the road at night, I don't care. You're Alabama, they're Oklahoma. Stomp the shit out of them, especially when playoffs are on the line. You also lost to Vandy, who has been the bottom feeder of your conference for decades. Yes, they're a good team this year. They've won some games. They stayed in some tight games. It doesn't matter. Miami's loss to Georgia Tech took Georgia to 8 overtimes. That's a good ball club. They might not be records-wise, but the way Georgia Tech's playing right now, good ball club. And then you have to travel from Florida, almost as far south in the country as you can get in Florida, to fucking Syracuse, New York. Josh, you lived in New York. It's way the fuck up there. A cross-country flight on the road to a Syracuse team who is not a bad team. Syracuse is better than both Oklahoma and Vanderbilt.
They're ranked right now. Syracuse is fucking ranked.
Yeah. So do I think Syracuse beats Oklahoma or Vanderbilt? I'm not saying that.
I think they beat Vandy for sure.
But they're the better team.
Well, where are the games being played? Where are you?
It doesn't matter. It's a hypothetical. It's gone. But Miami's losses are not bad losses. They just came at the wrong time of the season. I mean, tell me I'm wrong.
I struggle because of the right there, the SEC bias and the clear Alabama bias. It goes back to last year where they get. I'm not saying Florida State probably shouldn't have gotten in, but did Georgia not have the head-to-head over Bama last year? Am I wrong?
They didn't play last. Or no, Bama beat Georgia in the SEC championship game.
Okay, fair enough. So I can't.
So that's a valid eliminator for Georgia.
Yeah, for Georgia. Fair. But I mean, and then you have the Florida State with Jordan Travis and everything, and
yeah. But I don't necessarily think it's Bama bias. I think it's SEC bias for sure. But I think for that case, it's strength of schedule. And well, look, we beat Bama, who's in. We beat Georgia, who's in. You almost pissed that game down your leg. You also lost to Tennessee, who's in. Miami hasn't lost to a team that's in.
You want to play strength of schedule, if that's the card Alabama wants to play, Ole Miss's is better.
Yeah.
Ole Miss's strength of schedule's better.
Yeah. I mean, it's a
shouldn't have lost to Florida. I mean, Ole Miss shouldn't have lost to Florida. I think they took one other really bad loss in there. I don't remember 100% off the top of my head, but
I can't remember.
Florida,
I mean, they have 3 losses. They didn't look good against Georgia.
They lost to LSU by 3 and Kentucky, and they took the loss to Kentucky.
But you can't lose to Florida with the season on the line.
Correct.
Especially an abysmal Florida team at the beginning of the season. Again, Florida came on late.
Tyler, going back to the South Carolina, you say, I understand Alabama and Ole Miss both have the head-to-head. That's 2 of their 3 losses.
But that's enough. You can't take a team, all 3 of them with the same record, and the team that has lost to the other 2 in discussion, they're out of the discussion. There's no, we're hot right now.
But I understand that. Tell me that South Carolina doesn't have the best 3 losses of the 3 that we're discussing right now.
Who's their other loss to?
LSU by 3, double overtime.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you that. Their losses look better, but Josh, you're a cockrider.
I am. Hand up.
Huge cockrider. We don't even need to be having this discussion over them because it's not going to happen strictly due to the head-to-head. It's head-to-head losses. Period. South Carolina's out. However, I think you're really punishing Miami
They're
here.
losing 2 out of the last 3.
But and I get it. Miami's defense is abysmal. Horrible defense. I think you put Bama Miami in a head-to-head game, Bama waxes Miami. I really do. Unless they come out and lay an egg like they did to Oklahoma. We've seen it with Bama this year.
Bama laid a couple eggs this year.
Yeah, they do that. So
it's really if Milroe decides he wants to play or not. I mean, don't forget, the South Florida game was 16-14 with like 3 minutes left, and Bama had 2 pick sixes at the end of the game to make that game look like the ass beating it should have been the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, the CFP is flirting with a very dangerous line. Now it's already been done. Bama and Miami can't do anything. There's no way Miami gets in over Bama. Now it's just, is Bama out from something else happening above them?
Well, and they've said that they're not reevaluating the teams that aren't playing this weekend. So they can't go reevaluate them. Technically they could go back and reevaluate, but they're not going to reevaluate. Did we get this wrong? Should Miami be ahead of Alabama? They're not going to do that.
Yeah, there is none of that, which is a flaw. A massive flaw, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think with one more week, it gives you more time to mull it. We've been on this dead horse. Let's get into the first Power 4 game. Iowa State versus Arizona State. Played in Dallas. Arizona State 2.5-point favorites. Clark, we'll start with you because it's your Cyclones.
You already know where I'm going with this, as much as you guys probably are going to disagree with me. I got to take the Clones plus 2.5. If you're giving me points and my Clones in a championship game, just give me the Clones, baby. I love it.
As of right now, the way everything sits, the winner of this game is the 12th seed.
Yes. This is a play-in game. This is a playoff game. Loser goes home. Winner keeps dancing. I don't know. Gonna be bold.
Dude,
Josh, give me your thoughts.
This is gonna be a chippy game, dude.
I think it comes down to the fact that Iowa State's only, and I hate saying this, the only thing that they are outside of the top 55 on in the country is their rushing defense.
Mm-hmm.
And Arizona State's got a bad man in that backfield.
Cam Scattaboo.
Yes, yeah.
The boogeyman.
Dude,
don't even Scattaboo.
Do not say his name.
This is such an interesting game because the last couple of weeks we have hammered on the fact that Iowa State has not been the same team that they were the first 8 to 9 weeks of the season. And Arizona State has been electric this year. This is such a strange game to me, and Iowa State had made me so much money in the beginning part of the year, and I just don't feel like I can trust them right now.
That's fine.
I feel like I gotta go with ASU on this one.
Two teams trending in different directions. Iowa State started off like a rocket ship, and then they almost lost Clark DeHoo the week before we were in Wisconsin.
The week before, yeah, UCF.
And then
that's the spoiler makers of the Big 12 right there.
Dude, they're the same thing last year. They did the exact same thing to another team. Spoiled it for them.
I'm just saying, Iowa State has gone on a different trajectory. Arizona State has come on late.
Dude, they were picked to be last in the Big 12 this year.
Yeah, you guys barely sneak by UCF. You win by 3. And then you lose to Texas Tech at home. And then you lose again to Kansas, which we know what Kansas
is. The boogeyman.
You guys handle Cincinnati as you should. You barely beat a very bad Utah team on the road by 3 points.
Yeah, I know.
And then you handle Farmageddon by 8 at home, and you actually covered in that game.
So they've righted the ship. They have righted. Give them credit. They've righted the ship.
Dude, after that loss to our first loss, I was like, yep, our 10th season win's gone. It's not happening. I had accepted it. So the fact that we're even in this position,
let's look at some head-to-heads.
Yep.
Arizona State beats Kansas by 4. Granted,
They also lost to Texas Tech. Don't forget that one.
They did lose to Texas Tech.
Mhm.
They beat Utah by 8.
Mhm.
They lost to Cincinnati, unlike Iowa State. They did lose to Cincinnati.
By 10.
So
UCF almost boogeyman them as well.
yeah.
Yep.
Let's not.
Yeah.
Let's
So-
not.
These looking at them we're very similar. We're both 32 plus
Both
points
fucking
per
heart
game on
attack
offense.
teams.
Dude, this game is going to be weird. It's if we can't stop the run, we're going to lose. I'll be honest. If we can't stop Scatabo, we're losing this game.
It's two different teams. Iowa
Yes.
State going to lean heavily on
The
the pass
pass.
game here, and Arizona State struggles to defend a passing offense.
57 from the country.
And Iowa State, Josh, you said they're 94th against the rush.
90, and it's again the only thing that they are outside of the top 55 in the country on.
And they're going up against a top 10 rusher in the nation in Cam Scatabo. So who's going to bend and who is going to break in this game is going to determine it. Scatabo coming off of a 3-touchdown game last week.
Dude, he's done it so many times this year.
The boy's fucking buzzing. Of note,
First ever matchup.
Really?
What is
First
of note
ever matchup.
is in this game, star receiver Jordan Tyson is out for Arizona State. If Arizona State gets behind in this game, I think they struggle to come back. If this gets to a 10-point, to a 14-point early, and they can't rely on the run, or if their coach, youngest coach in college football, by the way, Dillingham is, if he can't keep the composure and still lean on Scatabo and trust the process, and he tries to air it out, this game could get away from them.
Can I say I would like State on the spread, or will you guys give me that?
No, you have to pick A-State on the spread.
Well, I will take A-State on the spread. Give me Arizona State.
I hate you guys.
I think it's Scatabo.
Dude,
you said it yourself. You guys are on your
he's-
fourth and fifth string linebackers.
we lost both our starting linebackers week 1.
Like, thankfully, you guys aren't outside, because if you guys were outside, Scatabo squares his shoulders, and you might be on to like your fifth string quarterback.
No, I'm excited to watch this game. I will be freaking out the entire time, to be honest. But I honestly think our defense will be fine. I think we'll be able to stop Scatabo enough to win this game. But God, it's just
I will say this.
I'm terrified.
It's absolutely a fucking crime that they didn't flex the Big Ten to noon and this to the nightcap.
My official pick here is Arizona State to cover the spread, win outright. Clark, I've wrote Iowa State too many times this year.
Wait. You can't do that, because remember last week you said you would take Iowa State if they won that game.
And then Scatabo peeked his little head up, and he said,
Hey,
peekaboo, I'm running with
that-
Scatabo in the
I
Devils.
hope this voodoo magic, you going back on your word, ruins ASU. I hope he tears his ACL.
The Sun Devils are all about voodoo. It's a fucking Sun Devil.
No,
Mike Leach said it best. That's some black magic.
No, this game's going to be good, though. The spread couldn't be a better number, because this game's going to go either way.
The fact that
You
this
just
is
don't
an
know.
11 a.m. kick is fucking criminal. Ethan, what's your pick
Thanks.
here, bud?
Well, I'm going with ASU.
Yeah.
I can't trust Iowa State anymore at this point in the season.
God, I hope all you guys are wrong.
Arizona State has been fucking electric.
Dude,
And
they've been hot.
On top of that, I think it's just the Hawkeye poking out of me. Like, you guys aren't going to win the Big 12 championship. Let's be honest.
Well, Arizona State's also 10-2 ATS, and Iowa State's 7-5.
Something tells me that just like Iowa schools in general struggle in football championship games.
Yeah.
And similarly to how Iowa and Michigan has been the last couple of years, you guys are going to get your shit rocked this game.
I wouldn't say shit rocked.
I think you're going to get your shit rocked.
That's crazy.
To a different game now?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go into the next one. We got Georgia heading into, well, they're playing the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Yeah,
against,
it's a game in Atlanta.
so a hell of a game. This is going to be obviously pretty close to a Georgia home game at this point.
As far as distance, yes. I mean,
Yeah.
2 hours versus a 4-hour flight.
But
Mhm.
but there's a big but here. Texas a 2.5-point favorite, and damn, they've looked good all year.
Oh, and we've seen this matchup earlier this year, and Texas, 15-30, right?
Yep.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Texas 30-15 won this game 30-15. I mean,
and that's was Quinn Ewers in that game?
Weak.
am I dumb? Is this the game Texas lost? Am I stupid?
No, Texas lost 30-15.
Yeah, Texas lost this game.
Oh, really? Okay.
I was saying Texas won. I was backwards.
Yeah.
Backwards. Sorry, brother.
I think Georgia wins this game. I think Carson Beck has been out of that slump we saw mid-season. I think he's thrown a lot less interceptions. I think Georgia wins this game.
I don't want to believe you. I'm so sick of watching that team in the playoffs.
Was this a Manning game?
That's what I was.
No,
thinking.
it was a Quinn game.
Mm.
But Beck did throw 3 picks against Texas. How do you lose when you get 3 picks? That's crazy.
Was Ewers coming off of his injury and just not moving well?
His efficiency through the air was bad, 25 for 43.
Yeah. Give me Texas minus 2.5. I'm tired of watching Georgia win.
Fair enough.
I just think Texas has some money. Texas fans are going to travel, but this is a home game. This is getting played in Atlanta. This is a home game for Georgia. Georgia won on the road. As much as I don't want Georgia to win, I think Georgia does it. I think they go one more time here, and it sets up for a third potential meeting. The way the bracket was set on Tuesday, they would meet in the second round. I don't know, because that then takes Georgia to one of the top 4 seeds and kicks Texas out. It's going to shuffle the seeding around quite a bit.
There's going to be a lot of shuffling this week because there's 2 Big Ten teams in the top 4.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Not in the bracket, but in the rankings.
Yeah, but if Oregon wins, I mean, that doesn't change the... Well, no, I guess if Penn State won, it would
Penn State will stay in, but they'll fall.
Yeah, but I'm saying I guess if Penn State did win, it would kick Oregon out of the 4 automatics, but I don't know. I want Texas to win this game, but there's something telling me that Georgia's going to. It's a home game. They just played a really tough one against Georgia Tech, an emotional one. I don't know. Maybe they bounce back, but I don't know. This game.
How does it make you feel if I tell you that the money's going to force this to 3.5?
That's fine with me. I like Georgia either way.
I like Georgia at plus 3.5. You can buy it right now to 128. I bet you by Saturday you won't even have to buy it.
Yeah, I want Texas to win this game, but something just feels weird about not taking Georgia in a playoff game, in a SEC championship game. Just seems off.
I don't think Carson Beck can get away with 3 picks again. I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think he'll throw 3 picks again.
Dude, he's played really well as of recent.
I hate taking Georgia here.
But doesn't it feel like it's the right thing?
Yeah, it does,
wrong
but it doesn't mean I like it.
E, where are you at in this game?
Oh, I'm on Texas.
So it's 3 of us against Ethan.
Yeah, I'm tired of watching Georgia win. I do think that this spread will move because I think people are going to feel the same way. So this is one of those ones where I'm not comfortable actually putting my own money on it. However, I would like to see Texas win and cover outright, and I think that they will. University of Georgia is a little bit further from Atlanta than I think people realize. So
a hell of a lot closer than Texas.
I get that.
A lot closer than Austin.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I think Texas has been the better football team this year.
I bet you there's direct flights though.
Yeah. Into Atlanta, 100%.
Yeah. So I'm going to take Texas.
What's next?
Next is the one group of 5 game that snuck into Saturday.
Mhm.
Marshall at Louisiana.
What a weird-
And it's a true home game for Louisiana. Louisiana 5.5 point favorites. These teams have not played yet this year.
Yeah, I haven't watched either one of these teams, so I
Gotta make a pick. It's championship weekend. I won't let you not.
what's up?
Gotta make a pick. It's championship weekend.
Give me Marshall plus 5.5.
Tyler's the only one that goes into the weeds on this shit, so he has a pick.
Yeah,
It's Marshall. It's Marshall plus 5.5.
I thought you were gonna go with the Raging Cajuns.
Fuck no. The only good thing the Raging Cajuns have ever done is beat Iowa State at
Get
Iowa
out
State.
of here.
Marshall in this game getting 5.5 points is a lot. Marshall, don't forget, boys. They played
They had a
tough
plane crash
first.
that one time.
Well, yeah, they played a tough first half against Ohio State. They played a really tough half with Ohio State. The score will not look like it, but they still covered the spread, only losing 49-14. But in the first half, tight game. Marshall, they have not lost since week 4, and that was to Georgia Southern by 1 point. So I'm going to take Marshall, man. I like them.
Okay. Anyone else?
Where you at, Clarky?
Me and Tyler have been on opposite sides all night, so I'm taking
I'll-
Louisiana.
I'm gonna ban my blood for the first time all night. Give me them Cajuns.
Oh,
Split here, huh?
yeah.
A house divided.
Do it for the herd.
Well, let's head
For
into
the herd.
Also, should point
Beat
out
the Cajuns.
Marshall 10-1 against the spread. Louisiana 7-5 ATS.
You didn't tell me that. Fuck. No, I'm kidding. Money line's all that matters this week, baby.
But get
Facts.
this. Louisiana 6-0 ATS on the road, 4-2 ATS at home. So they struggle to cover at home. Marshall, on the other hand, 3
Fucking hurt
that-
yourself.
Sorry, Marshall is 10-1-1 ATS. Their ATS losses coming on the road. So
Does anyone see a path to the playoffs for either of these squads?
no, there is no play path for either of these squads. Better bowl game.
Better bowl game. The
Fair.
loser might go to the Bahamas, though, and I think I'd rather go there.
Let's go into the next one. We got Clemson going into Bank of America Stadium against SMU. A 2.5 point favorite for SMU. I'm off of it. Give me Clemson. I'm
Really?
riding Clemson. I'm going to continue to ride some Tigers.
Wrong. Give me SMU.
Wrong.
Tell
Give
us
me
about it,
SMU.
Clark. Tell us
I don't
about it.
know. Clemson, I don't know, dude. We loved them last year. This year I don't know. I felt like we wanted to ride the wave beginning of the year, took the loss to Georgia right away, and we just kind of fell off. We haven't played with them a little bit. I guess Ethan's played with them, but I don't like them this year. Give me SMU.
Yeah, I will also be on the ponies in this game. Clemson started the season, bad loss to Georgia. You're right, and that soured the taste in everybody's mouth. And then we said Clemson they have to beat Louisville to get in. And they lost to Louisville, but they got help from Miami losing 2 straight games. And, 2 of their last 3. Was it 2 straight? Either way, they lost two conference games. So they find themselves in a position to where they can make the playoffs by winning the ACC. They lose this game, they're out. I think SMU wins this game. However, for the sake of kicking Bama out, like we said, I would really like to see Clemson win this game. Clemson and SMU get in over Bama. But there's still the chance the committee kicks out SMU with a loss here. I'm going to take SMU. I'm going to take them on the money line. I like the -2, I guess. That's not a huge thing for me. Where's this game getting played at? Bank of America
Bank
Stadium?
of America is in the Carolinas. It's the Panthers'
Carolina.
home stadium.
Okay, so a home game for Clemson by a lot, but SMU is a school that's got some money.
They'll have plenty of private jets.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of people here from SMU still, but definitely a home game for Clemson.
Here's my only thing with SMU. Yeah, who's their best win? I mean, their losses to BYU by 3 points, and then your best win is a late season Boston College?
Fuck no.
They beat
Pitt.
Pitt.
They beat the shit out of Pitt, and Pitt at the time was still in ACC championship game contentions. I think that was Pitt's first conference loss. They also
okay. So your best win is Pitt. Your best win's Pitt.
You beat Louisville on the road.
Okay, I'm not saying that, but so their best win's Pitt. That's what we're saying. Their best win is Pitt.
Pitt or Louisville.
Pitt or Louisville. You haven't played anybody. A scrappy Pitt team, but you haven't played anybody.
You played the ACC conference schedule. That's what it is.
And Clemson's played real football games. They haven't
and lost to
Carolina.
Lost them both.
They haven't
lost them both.
Lost to Carolina. Lost to Louisville.
They lost all three.
Carolina, Louisville, and Georgia. SMU can't control the schedule. This is their first season in the ACC, and they came in and dominated.
And they're going to win.
It's the Dabo effect.
Guy doesn't get transfers. You can't win games without transfers.
Oh, welcome to the ACC championship. Now you're going to get your shit rocked.
Yeah, you're going to see why Dabo gets all that fucking money, dude. Mm-hmm. Probably by a point. Yeah, -140, by a point. Clemson plus 3.5.
Clark and I are going to see you guys at the fucking window. Just put it out there. However, if I lose money on this bet, I'm not going to really be that mad as long as SMU stays in the playoffs and Clemson and Alabama's out. That would still make me smile. And then I'm riding SMU in round one, whoever they got.
You want to know why I'm on Clemson? Clemson's 13th best passing offense in the country. SMU 92nd in passing defense. Air raid.
All right, pull us a stat that looks really good for SMU against Clemson now.
He can't do that because he don't care.
Give me a second. I'm looking.
Is there these are like the guys on
three more
election
points.
night.
They score 3 more points per game.
Hey.
Covers the spread.
They're worse in turnovers. They force 0.3 more turnovers per game. I'm not lying to you. That's what they get. No. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. Clemson gets them there. Their third down defense is 0.5% better. That's what they line. That's what. They're pretty evenly matched teams. I'm just saying what Clemson's good at on offense, SMU's bad at on defense. Other than that, they're pretty comparable teams. That's why I threw that out there.
But something you should know, SMU's quarterback is the team's second leading rusher. And we just watched Clemson struggle against Lenoris Sellers.
Lenoris Sellers.
If you're at SMU, you're looking at that game going, we got to get our fucking quarterback mobile in this game. And Brashad Smith, all ACC first team at running back, 1,100 yards, 14 touchdowns. I mean, fucking run the read option, run and gun it on them.
I still haven't watched an SMU game, for the record. Haven't watched a single snap all year.
Also, potentially getting a receiver back for SMU that's been out for a couple weeks. Clemson's going to be down a safety, but is hopeful that defensive back Shelton Lewis will be playing in the game. So I think this game's a banger, and I'm glad it is the night game. But
it runs parallel with one other game.
Yeah, if you're watching Oregon, Penn State over this game, you're out of your...
Penn State has literally nothing riding on. They're both in no matter what.
Yeah, yeah. Penn State and Oregon are in regardless. It's just who's going to be... If Oregon
who gets
wins.
the bye and who doesn't.
Yeah, if Oregon wins, they're the number 1 overall seed. If Penn State wins, they're probably the weakest.
They're probably the number 2 seed because they're three. They're 3 right now. They're actually 3 right now. And if Georgia wins, they're probably the number 1.
Did we just flip games?
Penn State, that is.
Are we talking Penn State, Oregon now then?
Yeah.
Okay.
You gave your pick on SMU.
Yeah. All right, we're good. Let's do it.
He was saying this game, SMU and Clemson run parallel to this game, same time slot. And there's no reason to be watching this game over SMU Clemson. But
your top 5 is Oregon, Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame, Georgia. Notre Dame's not changing, obviously. They also can't get a bye, so the mean at 4 doesn't matter. If Georgia beats Texas, Texas falls a little bit. If Penn State beats Oregon, Oregon falls. Does Georgia jump Penn State, who has 2 positions on them for the 1 seed?
No, I guess if Penn State wins this game and Texas loses to Georgia, then Penn State would probably get the 1 seed. But there's also a chance the top 4 don't change if Texas and Oregon cover. And here's my thing.
No, if Texas and Oregon win, I don't think anything changes other than Penn State and Georgia going down a little bit.
Correct.
If Oregon and Texas win. And
there's not really a reason to spend a ton of time on this game. Oregon is going to whack the fuck out of Penn State.
3.5 points is fucking crazy.
Yeah, welcome back to Lucas Oil Stadium, Penn State. I know it's been a while. It will be the last time for a while again, too. So here's a big welcome back to the Big Ten Championship.
Shouldn't be here. Shouldn't be here, by the way. Yeah. Ohio State pissed down their leg to Michigan. You shouldn't be in this game. Ohio State beat Oregon, Oregon beat Ohio State. Ohio State beat you via osmosis. Oregon's already won this game. What the fuck is a Nittany Lion? Puddles the Duck is way cooler than the Nittany Lion will ever be. The Nittany Lion just wants to be the gay cougar from BYU, and he can't. Ducks by 1 million, Ducks by 6.5, Ducks by 9.5. Alt spread the fuck out of this game. Oregon run away. Freight train.
3.5 is crazy. Absolutely absurd. But I'm claiming my lock right now. Oregon minus 2.5. Minus 148.
Okay. I haven't given a pick yet.
Shit, but go ahead, Clark.
Yeah, Clark.
I just want to see chaos in this college football playoff. Give me Penn State.
You're
plus
sick.
3.5.
It's not chaos.
Hey,
that's not chaos. If you wanted chaos, you would have taken Clemson.
Yeah, but I don't like Clemson this year.
Yeah, but the only thing this does, Clark, is if Oregon loses, Oregon goes to the 5 overall seed, and Notre Dame jumps to the 6. Notre Dame drops to 6, and everybody just trickles down one because Penn State would get one of the top 4.
I just want to see them lose. Just let me have fun.
Girls just want to have fun. So does Clark.
Ethan, where are you going?
Oh, I'm on Oregon. Oregon minus 3.5 is more than enough.
Clark, I'm blocking your phone number this weekend, bro. We can't talk about any of these fucking games.
I just want to see chaos. I want to see crazy shit happen.
But the actual chaos-making game, you picked the side that has no chaos in it.
That's because SMU's going to win the game. I just want to see good teams lose.
I think Oregon loses this game could be better for them in the long run.
Dude, being the 5 spot would be so freaking nice.
You get to host a game in Eugene
against 12 seed Iowa State or Arizona State.
That's the perfect spot for Oregon.
I think whoever plays that, I think the Big 12 team is out in the first round regardless. Arizona State or Iowa State, though, could give you a hiccup. But I think having a loss in that pissing your team off right before the playoffs could be better than the whole, we have to keep our undefeated season. There's certainly a reason a loss could be turned into a good thing. I don't see it happening here. Penn State gets shit kicked.
This episode of Show Me the Money is brought to you by Tavern Sports, your place to get fun sports content, sportsbook lines and parlays, and of course food reviews with Big E's Ballpark Bites. You can follow Tavern Sports on Instagram at Tavern Sports 2023, TikTok at Tavern.Sports, and Twitter at Tavern Sports 23.
John's out this week, but it is another UFC pay-per-view. We are at UFC 310, Alexander Pantoja versus Ascura in the title fight here. Pretty shitty card. I wish John was here to give me his opinion on it. A lot of older guys on this card, a couple commentators of UFC on this card. They're like part-time commentators for the like fight nights and Dana White Contender Series and shit. Not the best card. And of course, that being said, John is gone. However, we do have his picks for the first fight of the night on the early prelims. He has Nishuku over Brzeski at a minus 600 line. He also is taking Hooper over Clay Guida at minus 1,300. Hooper is 18 years the younger and 6 inches the taller over Clay Guida. If you told me I had $100 to bet on that fight, I'm not putting it on Hooper. I'd actually put it on Guida. Hooper's got soft hands. Guida's got the experience. But that fight, irrelevant. It's minus 1,300. Going a little bit up the card, he's going to have Battle over Brown at minus 220. I'm actually riding with him in that one as well. So I'll take Battle there with him. The next fight, the first fight that you casuals are going to know who's actually fighting, Aljamain Sterling finds himself on the prelims. Yes, that's right. Former champion Aljamain Sterling is on the prelims, and you can watch him for free on ESPN. John and I will both be taking Aljo over Movsar Evaliv at plus 200. Former champion Aljamain Sterling at plus 200, and Aljo is pissed that he is in this spot. He's called out Dana White and said, I do not need to be on the fucking prelim card. So Aljamain Sterling at plus 200, great odds here. A little bit up the card, heavyweight or a light heavyweight matchup rather. John is going to be taking Anthony Smith at plus 275 over Dominic Reyes. I'll be on the opposite side here, taking Reyes in that fight. Younger fighter, either way, that's just my opinion. When John and I differ, usually goes towards John. So plus 280 dog, 275 dog in that scenario. Another fight, this is not the co-main event, but the fight right before. Cyril Gahn facing against Alexander Volkov. John and I are both on Cyril Gahn at minus 390. Good parlay piece. Alexander Volkov just getting a little too old to be doing this, in our opinion. Shavkat Rakhmonov over Ian Gary in the co-main event as a title fight eliminator. Shavkat Rakhmonov minus 390. Ian Machado Gary, who he's facing, good fighter. However, Shavkat was supposed to be fighting for the championship a couple of weeks ago, and the champion got sick, hurt, whatever. And Ian Gary then filled in at this fight. He was supposed to be fighting somebody else. So both technically a short notice fight. Nobody's getting listed as a short notice fighter. However, they were both supposed to just fight other people. It is now changed into a 5-round eliminator for the belt. Winner gets to fight next. So, and then in the championship bout, John and I will both be taking Alexander Pantoja in that fight at minus 250. His opponent, Asakura, is plus 205. However, for those bettors out there, Japanese fighters are 0-6-1 in title fights all time. So it does not work out well for the Japanese fighters usually because they're coming over a little late in their career. Pantoja is 34 and Asakura is 31, so not a spring chicken himself. A little bit older, a little bit past his prime. Yeah, so that's UFC 310. Wish John was here to give you a little bit better breakdown on that, but not the most exciting card. Stream East it. Don't spend your money on this pay-per-view. If you're somewhere near Vegas, tickets are actually getting discounted more and more by the day as this fight has not sold out. So
tough looks for the.
I have to get me a ticket to Vegas. I can get them for like $70.
Yeah, tough looks for the UFC. This card was poorly put together.
Well, that's okay, Ty, because we're going to head right into our NFL talk after that little bit of UFC chat we just had. First game we're going to start off with, we got the Falcons at the Vikings. Vikings 5.5-point favorites.
Kirk O'Chain's revenge game.
Pretty much. This is going to be, in my opinion, a blowout for the Vikings. Unless who's the Vikings quarterback? Sam Darnold? Is that who
Sam
I'm thinking?
Darnold finally returns
Yeah.
back to earth.
Yeah. So I mean, like, unless he turns back into former Jets Sam Darnold. Jets, is that right?
Yep.
Yes.
If he turns back into former Jets Sam Darnold after a week off, then we'll see what happens, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah, worth noting, Kirk Cousins coming off a 4-interception performance last week. People are screaming for Michael Penix badly after just spending $100 million plus on Kirk O'Chains. I think if Kirk struggles again, we potentially see Penix.
Doesn't help that Atlanta's on a 3-game skid.
Yeah, the Boo Birds are going to get loud. Minnesota should win and cover this game. The X factor of Kirk O'Chains is scary, though. When Kirk went from the Skins to the Vikings and he went and played the Skins, he torched their ass that game. So something you could potentially look out for here. Maybe the guys get up for Kirko, Coles Cash Kirk, but I don't see it happening. I think Minnesota runs away with this one.
Good news for him, it's not a primetime game.
It is not a primetime game. Anybody else got picks?
I got
Give me
the
Kirko.
Vikings.
Give me Kirk O'Chains.
Josh letting it swing. Okay. Next, we have Jets at the Dolphins. Dolphins, 5.5-point favorites at home. I'm going to take Miami here. Miami doesn't play well in the cold. They do play well at home. It's a hell of a lot warmer in Miami than it is for those guys up in Rutherford, New Jersey. They do not play in New York. Sorry, Jets fans. But
Jets are also dog piss.
I think the heat, the humidity, even though it's not crazy hot, it is a massive adjustment from northeast weather. I'll take Miami on the fast track down south.
Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful 76-degree day in Miami for this. Give me Miami. Aaron Rodgers is dead.
Facts. Aaron Rodgers went on the Pat McAfee show and talked about he doesn't know if he wants to play in 2025. So, something to look at.
I don't know. I just feel like I would never, ever in my life put money on Miami. But then looking at the other side, it's also the Jets have been terrible this year.
Miami's looked better the last few weeks. They are 5-7. They can't win the division as the Bills locked it up last week on Monday night.
I was going to mention that a second ago.
Besides the Bills and the Packers, both on the road in colder weather games, which we know Tua and the Dolphins just can't win. The Dolphins, they beat the Rams on the road. They beat the Raiders at home. They beat the Patriots at home. And then Mike McDaniels was freezing his fucking nose off on Thanksgiving night in Green Bay. So I think the Dolphins right the ship here. I don't know if they're still potentially even fighting for a wild card spot, but
they're still. They could finish.
They're still in the fight.
They could finish 10-7 still.
They're 5-7 right now. The Colts are at the 8th seed at 6-7, and Denver's at 8-5 in the 7th seed.
Yeah. So Indy still has a bye week to come. They should be on bye this week then, because it's the last bye week.
They are on bye this week.
If Miami wins out, they're a 10-win team. They're fine. Not saying that they're going to win out. I'm just saying mathematically they are fine.
I'm with Ty. I think Miami being a favorite here is justified, especially at home. That's a team that when Mr. Hawk Tua Tagovailoa himself is playing in Miami, they play so much better, like incredibly better. So I'm going to keep it that way. I think that they are the better football team. Jets are awful this year. Give me Miami to cover 5.5.
Squad ride.
No squad ride. I'm going to take the Jets just because 5.5 seems a little too much for me right now.
Fuck you, Clark. You're killing the vibe tonight, man.
I think there's been
I'm
two
sorry.
games the entire show that Clark and I have been on the same side on. 2 games.
Yeah.
But next we have Bears going into San Francisco. San Francisco out both Jordan Mason and Christian McCaffrey. Still 3.5 point favorites against the Chicago Bears.
New look Bears.
I think we're on the same page here.
Thomas Brown coming in, went from quarterbacks coach to offensive coordinator to head coach in a month.
Worth mentioning, he was interviewed for the OC job in the offseason. He was one of like 13 guys interviewed for that position.
It doesn't matter. He still went from having to control a room of 4 guys to an entire 53-man roster.
I did see he is down in weight. I don't know if you saw that. He started the season at 225 pounds. He's all the way down to 203 because
I'd be stressed too.
So
yeah, that motherfucker is stressing his ass off.
Literally.
I honestly don't even think he's stressing because Thomas Brown the last 2 years has been in head coach interviews the last 2 seasons, and if he goes 3-2 and doesn't stay with the Bears, he'll be a head coach somewhere else next year. I promise you.
He'll at least be an OC somewhere else. I don't know about head coach right away. He is still pretty young.
I think that's why he would be a head coach. Everyone just wants those young, offensive-minded head coaches right now. But that doesn't matter. We're talking about this week's game.
Yeah, I think the Niners still win this game. Though the Bears have played better, we've had 3 devastating losses in a row. Blocked kick.
Hail Mary.
Hail Mary
this
was
season.
6 weeks ago.
But
still.
But we're talking about in a row.
Blocked kick against Green Bay. And then we lost with a...
Are you talking about the Minnesota game?
Yeah.
The Minnesota game, we had a missed field goal that was tipped at the line and a muff punt at the 5.
Yeah. And then we are still holding a timeout. Eberflus is still sitting on Ford Field waiting to call his timeout as we speak and record this podcast.
Oh, wait. No.
Nah, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to take it. I think the Bears are just fucked as is right now.
Not mathematically eliminated.
What do they have, a 0.1% chance?
Yeah, we're
like
eliminated.
0.01.
So go ahead and give me the 49ers to cover this game. I'll buy it down to 2.5, I guess. I don't really know if I'm going to need it. This isn't the same 49ers team we're used to. However, it's still a franchise that has a history of winning against a franchise that has been in fucking shambles.
Have you guys heard the rumbles that the Bears should go and trade for Kyle Shanahan at the end of the year?
I'd take him.
What? I don't know. I think you guys should just get Eric Bieniemy. UCLA just fired him.
No.
Worth noting,
quarterback whisperer.
Jeff Bezos is interested in buying the Bears.
I saw the tweet though. Your owner said, "Hell no."
That was a parody McCaskey.
Was it really?
Account. Yeah, you got Barry McCockiner. Read the fucking community notes.
Anybody with McCaskey.
I didn't have a community note.
All right, so who's on where? Tyler's on the Niners.
Niners.
Yeah, I'm on the Niners. I still don't. I mean, I think the Bears are going to be better than they were the last couple of weeks. I still don't think that the change in coach doesn't automatically make them win games. And
here's what's scary to me, and it just hit me. I'd love to move on from this game, but it just hit me. Eberflus was a defensive guy. Our defense has been bad.
They gave up on him.
Yeah.
After the Washington game, they gave up on him.
But does our defense continue to get worse, or does the defense bounce back? I just think the coaching malpractice, as JJ Watt said, is going to be gone. The game will be managed better, but I am worried about our defense and the defensive play calling. Because, the defense hasn't looked great, but we should have beat the Packers, we should have beat the Vikings, and we should have beat the Lions, or could have beat the Lions.
And we should have beat Washington, and we should have beat fucking the Colts, and we should have beat everybody but the Patriots. I mean, we should have beat the Patriots, but we look like shit, so I'm not going to say that.
No. Should we have beat them? Yes, but I'm talking about games where we were actually one-possession games in the game. We should have beat
Indy, Washington, the 3 division games.
And then we're a totally different team. This team's well above 500, hitting their win total for the year.
This team would be 9-3. We would be the best team in the NFC.
No, we wouldn't. The Lions are 11-1.
They would be 10-2.
If we beat them, okay.
Yeah,
and the Eagles just don't exist in this hypothetical. I like it.
Correct. Yeah,
we'd be the best team. All right,
we're the best team in the NFC.
All right, cool. I like that.
But you're not.
I like that thinking.
But you aren't.
Just fucking nuke Philadelphia. Get rid of them. Great. All right, Josh. Let's move on to Bills at Rams.
Can I get my pick?
No.
Who are you taking?
Bear down, Chicago Bears.
Off. Yep.
Well, we got a next game that we got on the docket. We got the Bills headed into LA to take on the Rams. Rams 3.5-point underdogs. John's Bills have been looking very good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, well, like Tyler mentioned, they've already locked up the NFC East with
AFC East.
Or AFC North. East? AFC East.
With
Miami, I know ball.
Jets.
4 weeks left. 4 weeks left counting this week. Crazy.
Yeah.
Sit the whole team. And then the Rams win +3.
They're not sitting anybody this week.
Not this week. But no,
Bills
I got Rams +3.
They're on
Bills
vacation.
look really good. Give me the Bills. Clark and I just fucking fighting all weekend. It doesn't fucking matter. Give me the Bills.
Give me Josh Allen, though, over 20.5 rushing yards and a TD.
This will be a Bills home game. The Mafia travels, and they get to get out of cold as fuck upstate New York to go to sunny LA.
After a metric fuckload of snow.
Yeah. By the point, I'm sure it won't cost you too much. Get it to 2.5 just to be safe. The Rams have looked better as of late.
We got one last game here on the NFL docket. We got the Chargers headed into Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. Chiefs 3.5-point favorites at home. Everybody's so sick of watching this team win.
Chiefs win this game. They cover.
Yeah.
Easy. This is a team that plays in a dome in warm weather. Yes, it's a hardball team. It's a good team.
A great team.
Some are saying they're great.
I mean, they are a pretty good team.
They're a pretty good team, but J.K. Dobbins being on the IR does not help this team at all right now. Jay Herbo is throwing to fucking ghosts out there. It's Chiefs money line because you can't take them to cover the spread. It's Chiefs money line.
Give me the refs, brother.
Yeah.
No
Taylor
shit,
Swift
the refs, brother.
Give me the refs.
Yeah. No, it's the Chiefs because the spread's not bigger than 5. So.
Hey there, sports fans. Are you tired of the same old boring shirts? Well, we've got something exciting for you. Introducing the Tavern Sports Pocket Tee, where style meets passion for the game. Whether you're a diehard fan or just like the environment, Tavern Sports has got you covered, literally. The best part, because you're listening to Show Me the Money, you can use the code $$ to get 15% off today. So what are you waiting for? Head over to tavern-sports.square.site right now and elevate your game day experience. Tavern Sports. Beer, betting, sports.
All right, let's get into our lock of the week for the Show Me the Money podcast. Let's start it off. Who wants to start this off tonight?
Tyler. See who's losing.
There's not enough weeds to get into this week as I would really like.
There isn't. There's Marshall, Louisiana.
That's not the weeds. Marshall's been a good team. They've been locked on this show actually this year. I think Parker locked them.
Yeah,
he hit, brother.
Yeah,
he did.
So something I was looking at when I was scouring to try to find a line that I really liked. Oregon's only minus 175 on the money line. that might be a Saturday night account dumper on that fucking game. Just a thought there. So with that being said, I want to dive into the sticky weeds. So I'm going to take us into a little bit of a UFC play.
Gross.
Not only am I taking, God damn it, where's the fight? I'm taking Aljamain Sterling. Okay, in his fight, he's plus 200 on the money line as is. But I think he's so pissed off. I want to take him by decision, which will be plus 350.
Why don't you just take him to win?
Take him, yeah.
Nope.
Making it plus 350
lot.
doesn't make your losses become wins.
It makes me less.
Don't
It makes
hurt
me
yourself.
more profitable, but I'm not profitable at all. It lessens the blows.
Are we gonna have a
So-
Tyler's teaser for championship weekend? We haven't had one in months.
Yeah, we are going to have a Tyler's teaser. Do you want the monster that you can do on the green book, or do you want the normal teaser that can be done on all books?
Are we doing it after our picks, though?
Yeah, we'll do it after our picks, but I need to know which one you want, the monster or the normal.
Probably the
Give me the
normal.
monster. Aw.
I'll give you both.
Yeah, give us
Yay.
how about the guys that aren't here? John didn't give us one, but Cole likes Caleb Williams 250 plus passing yards. I like that. I'm pretty sure he's hit it on like 2 or 3 straight, not gonna lie. So with dumbfuck gone, he'll probably do it again. Tyler, you mentioned Marshall being locked on this podcast. Parker, going back to the Wild Brother, Marshall plus 7.5 for Parker.
I'm sure if John was here, honestly, there's a chance he might be taking the Bills. Spread, but
He would. I promise you, he wouldn't.
he did do it that one week.
He never bets the Bills. He did it the
I think
one
he did
time.
do it against the Chiefs.
He did it the one time against the Chiefs, but that's a special occasion. He would not. I promise you.
Yeah.
The amount of times I've tried to get him to place a bet for me on the Bills, and he's like, "No, it's on my phone."
That's funny.
For my pick, I think I gotta go with Clemson. I feel like that's too easy for me. Clemson, like I said, for myself, has been a huge money maker this year. I'm gonna stick with them.
You can definitely buy the point. I know for a fact you can buy the point.
It's down at. Oh yeah, I mean yeah. If you want to buy it up to 3.5, absolutely.
Yeah, I would 100%.
Yeah.
You definitely should.
All right.
Beautiful.
So, go
Clark
ahead.
wants to go.
Bringing
Yeah,
it up
me
the
and Clark.
rear here.
Well, I haven't gone yet, but
Going next. I'm going to take the Browns Steelers over 45.5 points.
Okay.
yeah, and I said it earlier. I'm locking Oregon minus 2.5. Like, if you're gonna let me buy through that 3.5 number, that's crazy.
I like it. As far as teaser goes, championship weekend teaser, we are going to do a 6-leg 7-point. I'm going to take UNLV up to 11 plus 11.5 against Boise State. What's up, Clark?
I'm a 42.5, not 45.5.
Okay. So UNLV Boise State, we said earlier, they played a tight game already this year. We're just going to root for another close one, but we get through a key number of 10. We are going to take Ohio to plus 9 against Miami of Ohio. Again, keep it close. A game you've already played once. I like that kind of trend. You've seen it once. Let's handle it again. Georgia to plus 10, essentially a home game against Texas. Again, keep it scrappy. You won this game already on the road. So just don't get blown out. I'm going to take Oregon to plus 3.5 from minus 3.5 because that just feels free to me. Ethan, I will be taking Clemson up to plus 9, and I'll take Western Kentucky to plus 11.5 after these teams just played a 2-point game last week. So that is a 6-leg 7-point for plus 450 on that one. And then for the monster teaser, this one is going to go Arizona State. And again, this
smell bad.
This is a 13-point. Josh, you're not muted.
I'm sorry, I thought I was muted.
So again, this is a 13-point swing
Teaser.
for the monster teaser. So
Oh my gosh.
4 legs, 13 points, minus 140. It's going to look like this. It's going to be Arizona State from minus 1.5 to plus 11.5. If you guys win, Clark, I don't think you win by more than 10. I think that's a close game, however, whatever side it's on.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Texas on this one to plus 10 from minus 3. So again, whether you take Georgia up in the 6-point teaser or Texas across 0 to plus 10 in the monster, I think both sides is good. Again, I'm taking Oregon to plus 9.5 in this one, just because that's should be the for sure leg. And then I'm actually going to take Army to plus 17.5. I think if anything, cold weather, control the ball. We've watched a game where Army kept the ball for an entire quarter. Control the clock. So 4 legs, Arizona State, Texas, Oregon, Army, 4 legs minus 140.
I like that one.
Love it. Well, that is going to do it for this episode of Show Me the Money. Thank you for joining, and we will see you next week.
Good luck with championship weekend, brothers.
See you at the window, boys.
Upstate.